Welcome back from the President's Day weekend for those who got it. But anyway, this is Jason and the Simpademic. And I am going to sit here tonight and I'm going to explain to you all what women really want. If you think it's going to be some kind of answer regarding money or material goods, it's not even close to that. Here it is in short version. Women want men to be leaders. You heard me. Women want men to be leaders. And this came to mind tonight because, as I mentioned before, I'm definitely an evangelical Christian. My faith drives almost everything that I do as far as Christianity is concerned. I joined a single small group first time in 4 years. I've been in a singles one. Most of them have been men, men's groups. But for the first time, I decided to join a mixed company singles group. And this has been set up by, honestly, one of the strongest convictioned women I think I have ever met. And she's she's attractive to boot. And given what happened to me 72 hours ago, this is such astounding about face. But the reason why I say that about they want men to be leaders is this. I had shared, a couple of thoughts about what she has set up here in a very good way, because I'm very complimentary, and I just, I think it was, the setup for a small group to attend a church service together and then discuss the teachings afterward, I think is a remarkable one, and one that we don't see a lot of in churches these days. And for her to have been moved to create a group with singles who are wanting to learn in faith together, to worship together, and to, discuss teachings together, I think she's got this set up brilliantly. And I think most of the people who are in this group agree with my assessment on that. I think it's something a lot of people are looking for more meaningful ways to interact these days, and not just necessarily social clubs. And faith or not, I think people are looking for more meaningful interactions. But here's where the part about men being leaders comes in. Suddenly she texts me and asks me questions about, what I'm thinking. And then after I had that conversation with her, here's what hit me. She's taken charge of this and led everything by herself. But I think deep down, I think she would love to have men step in and help lead this effort. And I think deep down inside, women want men who are going to lead. Now, leadership is not being bossy. Leadership is not being forceful, not shoving your opinion down everybody's throats. It's basically taking the front lead in moving a group together. Having a unofficial assistant has helped me in my previous life tremendously. I've mentioned this before on this channel. My softball team that I was named interim captain of in 1998. Almost won a city championship. We came one game short. This is a team that started 0-8, went 15-7 down the stretch, went 15-15 for the season, took the 8th playoff seed, knocked off the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I was named interim captain of the squad, sometimes leadership opportunities are not ones that you necessarily apply for. And I mean, I don't feel like I've really been named any sort of role, but the fact that this lady thinks that my opinion is important, I think, is very telling. And I think women do want men who are going to at least step up and lead in some way. Do they necessarily, especially in a situation like this where they want the man entirely taking over? No. But men coming in and being leaders for some reason is attractive. I probably shouldn't even say for some reason. I think it's just genetically indwelt and built in, wired into all of us. Excuse me. Little Chipotle chip there. But anyway, and even biblically, that's a subject that comes up quite a bit. So, in my softball situation, I had 2 guys on my squad who were kind of my unofficial assistants. Didn't have any titles, but here's what they did. They coached me into being a more emotionally controlled manager and skipper, which at age 26 was pretty important to learn because by nature, young men of that age don't necessarily have that, and I sure didn't. And they kept the message to the entire rest of the squad consistent. We were all on the same page. The message was always the same. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good time. Leave everything that you have on that field, on that diamond. And if we win, then awesome. We celebrate. And if it doesn't, no reason to kick ourselves because we left everything on that field. We did everything we could to win, and it may have just not been our day. It happens. So having 2 guys on the squad who could help make the message to the team consistent across the board was extremely beneficial. Without that, I don't think we make that playoff run. And because of these guys, I was citywide manager of the year. Not just for co-eds, not just for Class C, but for the entire city. And I still say to this day, that is not a trophy I won by myself. I had a lot of help. These men were leaders. And as I mentioned in yesterday's edition, female umpires were hitting on me by the time the season was over. And I think that's an observation that women do find that attractive. Now, I was dating at the time, and my assistant, our bookkeeping manager, you always had one of those on the bench, was my girlfriend at the time. And she was always by my side, keeping books and keeping scores and keeping the scorebook for us. Behind every good man is a good woman. I had one in spades at that point in my life. But men in leadership are attractive. Now we had to sit there and tell these, lady umpires that, hey, he's already spoken for her, and that's his girlfriend right next to him on the bench. But it still proves my point. Women are attracted to men who are leaders. Would I hope that in this particular case of this group? Sure. But I think we're partners now in something bigger too. And I think it's more important in the end. Again, dating and relationships are not something that is pressingly important to me. Men who are strong leaders, men who don't prioritize relationships, things like that, like I said before, we don't become simps because it is not necessary. We have purposes. We deprioritized romance and relationships. As much as I'm drawn to this woman, that is still true. It's not the important thing. I'm not going to beg and plead to start anything. Jeez. I'm not going to press things or try to change anybody's mind. I am going to continue to be the best leader I can be. And my purpose in life, other than moving men to become leaders too, is involving advancing the gospel as well. And my purpose statement, as I mentioned from that previous group, is to show the world just how much adversity one man can overcome with their God behind them. And of course, my list of obstacles I've overcome reads like some kind of ludicrous list of impossible things. So anyhow, my thoughts for the day: what men really want, women really want. They want men who are leaders. It's not some magical monetary thing or bags of money or six-pack abs or 6 feet tall men. What they really want is men who are leaders. So if you have any thoughts on this, share them in the comments below. If you have any questions about this, also share them in the comments below. I appreciate everything I can get. And we will see you tomorrow night. And it's already going to be hump day version of End the Simpademic. Peace out, homies.